let's talk about the Infinity Train documentaries. In honor of Infinity Train Book 2, which is coming out Monday, and I'm very excited for it, I was going to rank all the train documentaries, which I reviewed all of. So if you want to check those out, there's like a playlist and all that stuff of all my Infinity Train stuff. I will review Infinity Train Book 2 later, but I thought I would actually rank them, which I never do, but I thought I'll do it this time, and I'll rank them. There's 10 of them, so it's a pretty easy ranking list there, and we'll go from there. So, this is my ranking, I guess. I don't know if it's the coolest ranking. I think some of the things I thought originally the numbers would mean something. They don't. There were a lot of hints in these about the deer that's clearly in Infinity Train Book 2. I'm not really ranking them on that. I'm ranking them on the actual content of the short. I actually rewatched all the train documentaries in a row to talk about it. Anyway, so I'm going to count down and rank the Infinity Train documentaries. So if you ever wanted to watch some of them, my top ones would be the ones you should watch. So the first one is the Minecart car. The 10th one. The last one. Alright, we're going from 10 to 1. I don't know why I said the first one. The Minecart car, I had a 10 as the worst one. I think it did have a lot of fun stuff with tulip references. There was kind of a Easter egg there and all that stuff. But it felt like the cheapest one. They had that rat guy coming in at the end. It just rewatching it, it definitely felt like the least essential and the most like, hey, we made, like, the last two are actually the lowest on my list. And I think it just, like, the last two, it felt like they were sort of running out of ideas and running out of budget, and they're just, like, really, really trying to get it to work, and it, like, honestly didn't. So I thought that was, like, you know, just trying to have funny concepts. And one of the things I think about all of these is, you know, Infinity Train, each train has this crazy imaginative world, and the ones that really got into that I thought were great, and I think that's how this concept works the best. I mean, you're not getting into the sci-fi crazy world thing with these. You're just showing off a different car in each one, and you should really be showing off the infinite possibilities and not the Minecart car, like just going through a mine and not like walking through a mine. Just felt really boring. I just didn't think it was very good. I thought it was the worst one. Anyway, at number 9, we have the wedding cake car, which was released at the same time as the Minecart car. I sort of like the concept of the whole thing with the kind of throwing the bouquet thing. I thought was funny, but ultimately it again felt a little cheap. It's just 1-1 on a cake, and there's nothing really to it, and it's, you know, it's fine. I think one of the things about this is having 1-1 explain the car and things like that, and and the more 1-1 does with it, the more interesting they would be. And this one just felt like a real simple kind of idea. It again felt like they were sort of running out of money and ideas. Number 8 is the tech support car, which would actually be called the beachside car because it was in the first book of Infinity Train. It has Randall in it and the donut holder. It was the first time to really show that they were going to show cars they had already been to. I was fine with that when I watched it. I probably liked it more, but watching in the context of all of them, I put it at number 8. I don't think it has enough to do. It's just kind of showing off Randall, who, you know, we've already seen. So it was fine. I generally, by the way, like all of these, despite of how I'm ranking them. But I did feel like, you know, it references things. That's kind of all it does, and it's out. The number 7, I put the green car, which is the very first one. It's a good intro. It kind of sets everything up. You get the first clue about book 2 with the deer kind of whole thing, and the purple guy whose name is Mr. Green or whatever. That was kind of fun and funny. I actually quite like it, but I feel like another one did what it did better, which I'll get to in a little bit. I like it, but I think it kind of got outdid. But I think it was a good way to set up everything. So number 6, the Cross-Eyed Ducks car. This one was fun, and I think it does a concept that a lot of them do, where they kind of joke that, like, they kind of miss the point of the car and say, look at this thing, instead of the thing that's obvious. But this one worked better because the Cross-Eyed Ducks were covering everything. This was in the original book 1. And they'd say, oh, look at the amazing monorail. And, you know, you had the fountain and all this stuff. It was a funny concept, and the Cross-Eyed Ducks are kind of funny. And I quite liked it. It kind of goes into any weird thing can happen in this, and even though it's going to a car we've already been to, I thought it was kind of a fun, weird concept to do with that car, rather than just showing, I mean, they did just show a bunch of ducks, but they at least had fun with just showing a bunch of cross-eyed ducks in a car. Number 5 is the Hill Car. Now, this I thought was very similar to the Green Car in that it's kind of setting up like, here's what we do with these train documentaries, and one's talking all this stuff, and it's kind of sort of boring, and then an eagle picks them up and flies one around and drops him. That's really funny. And I like that the camera starts fritzing out and all this. It's kind of it's a good concept, and they have a lot of fun with it. And then you get the talking hill and the broken door, which kind of hints at something else. I'm sort of wondering just now, is this taking place at the same time as book 2 because of that broken door? I wonder if that broken door is an Easter egg, or we'll see that in book 2. We'll see. Number 4, the Snow Car. Now, I really liked, this is probably my favorite one that was in, it is definitely my favorite one that was in book 1. I like that it kind of just sets up this thing. One's just showing off the snow car, then he falls into some ice, gets a cold, kind of goes into seeing like the snowmen from book 1, all that stuff, sees like his snack pile. There's a lot to it. I think it's probably one of the more denser storytelling ones, and I thought they did a good job. I kind of wish they did more of these, but it was my number 4, so I guess it wasn't my favorite, but I still quite like that. Number 3 is the Kaiju Car, which they call the Inexplicable Earthquake Car. This is probably the best one that does the misunderstanding, like, why I think it's the Inexplicable Earthquake Car. It's not, it's not missing the, kind of missing the point of the car kind of joke. It's fine, but I love the design of the kaiju fighting. I love the house coming in. I thought they had a lot of fun with the animation and the possibilities, which is like, I want to see like Dinosaur Baseball from Infinity Train. I want to see that stuff. I want to see crazy worlds, and this definitely gave me that, like a kaiju who looks like a blue meanie and a Rodan kind of creature. Like, it was all sorts of nonsense going on, and I thought they did a really, Kaiju Car is definitely one of the best. Number 2, I should say that this is my ranking of the Infinity Train documentaries. And of course, you're probably going to have an issue with that. And of course, this one probably was very close to being number 1. But number 2 is the movie theater car. It's actually a really great concept. And the idea of just doing one single shot on a movie theater, and that movie theater eventually is haunted and is going to eat 1-1 after you see the Let's All Go to the Lobby characters. It did a lot of fun things with movie iconography. The joke about one of the first movies had a train coming at people, and they were so shocked by this, they got on the train, and they basically got on that train and ended up not going to coding camp. And all. It was fun. They had a lot of fun with that one. I thought that one used the concept well. It was I think it felt like one of the more shorter ones, and they had a lot of fun with that. So number 1, I think if you watched these reviews, it's pretty obvious because I brought it up a lot. But my favorite, and I think the best, train documentary was the Tiny Wizard Car. It was the weirdest one. It had wizards saying spells, 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 spells. It had the least 1-1, which I kind of, at first I liked that more, but as I watched all these in a row, I was less annoyed by certain things. But this just got into like the craziness and the odd possibilities you could do with Infinity Train. And I think this is very much a post-Adventure Time kind of one, and this is the most of that. But I thought it was the most weird, it was the most strange, it was the most like, let's go into this weird world that didn't make any sense. It was just definitely the one that opened up the stranger possibilities of Infinity Train, and that's what I really liked about it. I like the train documentaries. I think they're really great. If you're a fan of Infinity Train, check them out. Let me know what your favorite Infinity Train documentary is. And I'm very excited for Infinity Train Book 2. I'm definitely going to do a review of that. And if there are more train documentaries, I'll review those. But as for the first 10, this is how at least I would rank them. And I think it's probably the most definitive ranking ever. So yeah, well, maybe not. But in train documentaries, I guess it is.